is a Bramble Jam podcast.
This week on Yo Gavel Gavel, if your kid breaks his leg on your neighbor's property, should she pay up? Judge Hatchett's here to say, get off my lawn.
And if you meet a girl on Facebook and you buy her a car, but turns out she's irresponsible, does that make you responsible? Nope. Judge Faith tells you, real people,
real cases,
fake justice.
This is Yo Gavel Gavel.
Hello, everybody.
Gavel Gavel. Gavel Gavel. Gavel Gavel. Gavel Gavel. Gavel Gavel.
Get your gavel on. Get your gavel on. Get your gavel on. Hey, buddy, take it down a notch.
I'm excited. It's Friday.
Get your gavel on. Get your gavel on. I'm doing a new thing.
Yo, who's doing it?
Where my hood comes out.
Oh, it's a hood gavel.
Can you guys see
I see it. That's good, man. It's a good look.
It's just like a more...
Yeah.
I'm a casual judge.
Casual judge. Judge Casual. Now you look like robber judge. Unabomber judge is what you look like.
This is a new type of look, everybody.
Yeah,
new type of look.
Good
Happy
luck.
Friday. Boy, can you believe it? Next week is he almost here and...
Then you skipped right over the weekend. You're like, boy, I know the grind's over, but it'll be back Monday. I hope you're ready.
I'll tell you guys. I'll give you a sneak peek. I thought next week was Halloween week, and then I quickly remembered it's not. And so
Next week is Halloween
No,
week.
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, this is going to air Friday, the 20.
It's going to air Friday, and it's going to air.
23rd.
It's going
to air the 30th.
No. It's going to air this Friday.
Oh, dang.
Today.
16th.
This is what I'm trying to say.
It's Friday the 16th, everybody.
You should take the day off.
Take that day right on off.
So next week is
need
not...
to take the day off. That's
next
for
week
sure.
is not Halloween, but it's closer.
The week is almost here. That's what I gathered.
Next week, we're kicking off the holiday season over on our other podcast,
the
Hallmark.
Maybe you've heard of it.
You can watch us watch Hallmark movies all day long. Next Saturday, the 24th. You're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Exciting
It's going to be a lot
stuff.
of fun. And now's the perfect time to join Bramble Jam Plus. Also a great Halloween gift.
Yeah. 2 weeks early.
Buy a slew of Bramble Jam Plus memberships and hand them out for trick-or-treaters.
Yeah. Hey, kids, they would love that. Kids love podcasts.
Kids love them. They get it. They get it. My 2.5-year-old is just like, put on a podcast.
Is that what he sounds like?
Oh, gosh, he's annoying.
Yeah.
Put on a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. He sounds like he's an animated
Pipe down.
character from a Disney movie.
We got 2 cases today, as we normally do. If it's your first time with us, welcome. It's great to see you and to be had by you.
To be heard by you, not be had by you.
To be had.
Okay. You just keep going.
You had me.
You just keep going.
I'm going to tell my good friend Dan a case that he has not seen. He's going to try to figure out the outcome of it, and then we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll do the whole thing over again, just reversed. My case is not the most exciting case in the world, Dan. Kind of, it's funny, but it is not the most exciting case.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So I'll go first.
Go first.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Whet your appetite for Judge Hatchett.
Judge Hatchett. Bring the heat.
Bring the heat down the home stretch. Judge Faith is who I hung out with today. Judge Faith.
Yeah.
The defendant in this case is Layson Boyd.
Layson
Boyd.
Is that a male or female?
That is a male.
Okay, Layson
and
Boyd.
Layson is suing Cherie for $1,997.
So
1,000.
yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
The breakdown of that is this: $772 for a toe. Being towed, not like a...
Yeah, I got you.
His toes are great.
We're breaking it down by body part.
$375 for the finger, for a mirror, $200 for partial car payment, $650 for missed work.
Okay.
Are you ready to dive into this case? Layson met Cherie. How all budding friendships and relationships began on the Facebook
friendship.
He was maybe sometimes you get those recommendations. I think this is probably what happened here. He got a recommendation, thought she was attractive, slid into those DMs. And they begin to talk.
Your boy Layson's here.
Layson's here.
DMs.
Let's do this thing. And so Layson, they start talking. I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out. Not quite yet. A couple months later, they've been talking for a little while. They're on the subway. They live in New York City. He's on a subway, looks down the subway. I think that's Cherie. Cherie looks down. I think that's Layson. He messages her on Facebook, says, "Hey, is that you?" She responds back, If I'm cute, yes. If not, no."
Okay.
And then they do not talk in person. They just scurry on their own ways, and Judge Faith just can't believe it. Just can't.
Creepy.
I just can't imagine that life. So finally, a couple months later, they started hanging out. They hung out 2 times. Layson doesn't say this, but by hang out, they hung out, if you know what I mean. They didn't really have a relationship or a friendship, so to speak.
Yeah,
They hung out twice.
They hung out twice. Got it. Family show. Got
and after that, he saw at a car dealership that if you refer somebody to us, we'll give you $500.
Okay.
He knew that Cherie was looking for a car, so he's like, "Hey, Cherie, call up Jody B. I don't know.
Jody B. Yeah.
And he'll give you the hookup." So she's like, "Okay." Calls up Jody B. and is like, "Hey, want a new car? Here's all my information." Her credit score is so bad they can't sell her a car. So she calls up our boy Layson. And Layson, she's like, "Would you mind co-signing on this car with me?"
Oh, boy.
And he says, "Okay, I'll co-sign."
Oh, boy.
Comes on down.
Classic co-sign situation.
And he goes through with it. He does it. He co-signs on the car.
Got it.
And so they basically make an agreement. I'll co-sign on the car if you make the payments and do all the good stuff. No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal. So she agrees, and as months began to go on, she began to become later and later on her car payments. And that began to affect his credit score.
Mm-hmm, as it does.
He had a good credit score, no longer has a good credit score.
Co-signers.
Co-sign bump.
That's what co-signing means.
That's exactly right. We go to Cherie. Cherie doesn't talk a lot in this case, but she does give a couple of nuggets, such as this. Somehow the side mirror got damaged. We don't get into how this happened. It got damaged. She knew a guy who would give her the hookup, fix the mirror.
Yeah.
That guy takes the car. I don't believe fixes the mirror.
This sounds like such a reputable situation.
Yes.
Right now. It sounds like everything's so on the up and up, it's ridiculous.
Yes. So takes the car, brings it back. Apparently, in the period of time in which Sammy, we don't know his name, Sammy took the car, Sammy got a ticket on the car, did not tell Cherie that there's a ticket on the car. So some time passes.
Oh, boy.
And Layson can't afford for his credit score
to dip
any more. So he takes the car. He's like, "Listen, you can't pay for it. I'm just going to take it.
And I'll pay for it.
I'll pay for it. No harm, no foul." So he lives in New York City. Car's parked on the street. He walks out one day, and the car has a boot on it.
Oh, boy.
Because of the ticket situation.
Okay.
And he takes a week off of work to figure that whole situation out, running around doing the things. Couldn't get to work because he didn't have a car, all that good stuff. And now it is time for Judge Faith to make her judgment.
I feel like he's going to get some money. Is the car still technically, the loan still technically in her name, Cherie's name?
No. So one piece of information is that he put the car in his name.
From the get-go.
From the get-go. When he came down there, they said the only way we can do this.
So he didn't co-sign. He just bought her a car.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Bought her a car. But she agreed to make the payments.
I don't know. I don't know if he gets any money. Maybe just a window, just a mirror or whatever. Which one was it? Mirror?
The mirror, yes.
Mirror. Give him the mirror. That's it.
Yeah. So Judge Faith agrees with you. She gives him a little bit more. Gives him the money for the mirror, which was $375. Gives him the money for the tow, the boot.
Yeah, okay, that's
which
fair.
is $772. He says, you're not getting like the car payment thing.
Listen, on you.
It's on you.
Yeah.
And the missed work. I lived in New York City. Take a subway.
Yeah.
Go to work.
Take a cab. Take an Uber.
She gives him quite the lecture on you were not thinking. This was very, very dumb. This is your fault. You're lucky I'm giving you any money.
Yeah, no.
And there totally we go. Agree. So he walks out of there with a little over $1,000.
Yeah, $1,100.
Yeah.
I love it.
So there it is, Judge Faith.
Judge Faith, bringing it home.
Yeah, Layson bought a girl that he had met twice a car.
God bless him. Yeah. Ladies, that's the one you go and take advantage of.
Yes,
right there,
absolutely.
Sure. He deserves it.
Yes,
man.
Does. Boy, there you go.
I got a case, and I left this out of the intro. Just a little teaser is what we call in the biz.
Oh,
my case is a little Halloween spooky. It involves an abandoned well.
Ooh, that classic Halloween trope.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stay tuned.
We're gonna get to that abandoned well here in just a second, but first we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back on the gavel.
Gavel it up.
Back in session.
Oh, boy. You ready to hear about an abandoned well?
I'm ready. Who you got? Judge
Hatchett?
Hatchett?
Hatchett.
What's Hatchett's deal?
Oh,
what's her first name?
Judge. My name is Judge. Hatchett. Her deal is she just brings the heat.
Brings the gavel.
Yeah, she likes to preach at people when they're wrong about things on a regular basis, which is fun for all involved. In this case, there's plenty of preaching to go around because the two people in this case, one is a legitimate Karen, just a Karen, and the other one is an old grandma Karen.
Great.
They're both Karens, and they both want to speak to the manager, and I think that makes this case interesting above all else. Let me introduce you to Roxana Josephs. Roxana Josephs.
What?
Roxana Josephs.
Roxana.
I
heard Rock Santa Joseph.
Nope.
And I was
Christmas on the brain.
Tell me about this Rock Santa Joseph.
No, Roxana Josephs is suing Linda Peters for the grand total of $700.
Okay.
Now, Roxana and Linda are neighbors. Their houses are next to each other. And Roxana needs you to hear a long backstory about their neighborhood. So I'm going to tell you. Basically, it's a great neighborhood. She's lived there for about 20 years. She's raised both of her sons in this neighborhood. She has a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. Their names are Johnny and Zach. Sound made up. They're real names. Johnny and Zach are her kids, 14 and 16 years old. This neighborhood is known, apparently to Roxanne anyway, known for their giant backyards.
Okay.
Big sweeping backyards, lots of room to play. All of the backyards connect. There's no fences in the backyards.
Okay.
And so the kids typically run from backyard to backyard.
Sure.
Through all the time. They're just traipsing through the backyards. It's very commonplace.
Just traipsing.
Traipsing. That's the word I'm using. They go through, they're playing, they play games, they're going through everybody's backyard. It's kind of a known thing. So they had a neighbor. Name was Tim. I don't know if Tim is a grown-up or is a child, but Tim died. Oh. Yeah. I don't know.
This is a premature laughter on my part.
Yeah.
We don't know the cases. I don't know the cases.
I don't know if Tim. Oh, here's what I know. Tim was their next door neighbor. Tim died. The boys were really broken up about it. I'm assuming that it was a child. I'm not sure. I don't know how Tim died. I just know Tim died. And then Tim's family or whomever, they moved and that house was for sale. Linda Peters, Mrs. Peters, as she calls her, bought that property.
Okay.
So at this point, we pivot to Miss Peters. Miss Peters is older. She speaks slowly. She is a classic old lady with groceries that you would help crossing the street, and she has things to say. She says, first of all, I was very happy to be in the neighborhood. It seemed like a great neighborhood. When I moved in, I noticed that the boys, Zach and Johnny, were in my backyard all the time. It was clear that they had created a path that they would run on from yard to yard, and that path was in my backyard. And so I did what I should have done, which is I went to the boys out in the backyard, and I went to Roxana, and I said, look, I know that this is something you've been doing, but you cannot go in my backyard. You can't do it. These are different rules now. I'm an older woman. I live by myself. I want to do a lot of landscaping. I've got plans for this backyard, and running through my property is trespassing. You're not allowed to run through my yard. So Roxana says that this conversation never happened.
Whoa.
She says
straight lie
that when Linda moved into the neighborhood, they had a great relationship with Mrs. Peters. They were kind and friendly to each other. She never talked to me about the boys running through the yard. The boys came home one day and said, Mrs. Peters told us not to go near her plants or her landscaping. And I said, yes, absolutely. Don't touch her plants or her landscaping. That's all the communication that happened. Now, at this point, Judge Hatchett goes, now, Roxana, you know she has a right to keep them off of her property. You understand that. And Roxana says, absolutely, totally understand that. It just never came up. She never requested that happen. We never had that conversation, not with my boys or me. And Linda says, Your Honor, we did have that conversation. It was clear. It was concise. I spoke to her boys and I spoke to her. It made zero difference. They continued to run around on my property. And she says, they're very nice boys. I don't want them trespassing. I had a lot of landscaping I wanted to do, and I didn't want them trampling on it. This conversation happened. Roxana says, we didn't have the conversation, but I told them to stay off the landscaping. Anyway, Judge Hatchett stops and goes, Roxana, your boys are teenagers. I'm sorry. I'm inclined to believe that the conversation did happen and your boys did not tell you the full-fledged. Even if it didn't happen with you, your boys were told about this. They were. I'm inclined to grant that to a witness in the courtroom versus your two teenage sons who are not here. However, let's continue forward. So Linda was doing big things in this big plans for the backyard.
Plan.
She had a ton of debris removed.
Was it a Zen
It was a Zen garden for sure. I'm sure Zen was in it. Zen to you. Linda had a ton of debris cleared from her property and put in her front yard on the road there to get collected. Well, as she was clearing debris from her property, she unearths an abandoned water well on her property. Show a picture of it. This thing is massive.
I love it.
It looks like it's straight out of a horror movie, like The Ring. It's an actual giant hole in the ground. You can't see the bottom. And she says numerous times, it was a shock. It was a shock to me that I found this well. So we go back to Roxana. Roxana says they had cleared the debris from the back of her house. They had put it on the front road. I had told my kids to start going around the front of her house to not run in her backyard anymore, even though she claims that the kids never were told not to do that, which is weird to me. But all of this debris kept them from going around the front. So my kids were running through the backyard and one of them fell into the well. Fell into the well. I got a call at work.
Fell into the well.
Johnny fell into the well, broke his leg, scratched up his entire right side, in a cast for 6 weeks. And Judge Hatchett is looking at the pictures and she goes, let me stop you right there and just say, thank God this was just a broken leg. He could have easily died. And if you see the pictures, the well is massive. Like I can't believe he only broke his leg. Can't believe it. So Linda said, look, I knew the well was there. I contacted the commissioner in the state of Washington. And basically in the state of Washington, a well has to be decommissioned. They have to come out, decommission a well to never be used again. And then it has to be filled. I paid $300 for it to be decommissioned. I paid a few more $100 for it to be filled. I did things the right way. And until the well was filled, I put 2x4s over it to make sure the boys couldn't fall in it. Roxana said, look, my son said there was one 2x4 over the entire well. It was off to the side. Linda disagrees. They get in an argument over 2x4s. But Roxana goes, Your Honor, forget the 2x4s. I have a pamphlet. I have a pamphlet about wells in the state of Washington. And the pamphlet clearly states that the landowner is responsible for decommissioning the well and also is responsible for all injuries, personal injuries that happen because of the well on your property. That is the law of the state of Washington. That is what I have. She hands it over to Judge Hatchett. Judge Hatchett is now ready to make her ruling. And all she wants is $700 out of
medical?
Medical, yeah.
This is tough.
It's a hard one.
Because I feel like I need more information about that specific law.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the boys were on her property.
They were trespassing
without an invite.
That's right.
I feel like that law pertains to people that are on your property with approval.
Yeah.
Not with somebody trespassing onto your property without permission.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm not going to give her any money. Sorry, kids are dumb.
Yeah, kids are dumb, but you are wrong here, Brando. No. I know. I'm in the same boat that you are on this one, but here's what Judge Hatchett says. First, she turns to Linda, Miss Peters, and says, Linda, you need to talk to your real estate agent, and you need to talk to whomever did the inspection for your house. You could probably sue both of them for not disclosing a well on the property.
Absolutely. I was going to say that.
You could sue them. You should sue them. That's what you need to do. She says, we have a problem here because the boys were trespassing, but the law is that if you have a well on your property, you're liable, period. And she says, I'm going to split the difference and I'm going to give you $350. So she goes halfsies on it, splits the difference. The Roxana gets $350. No one gets a manager to speak to, and that's the end of
That's fine. That's fine. That's a ridiculous, that's not how law, that's not how law works.
No. That's how it works in Judge Hatchett's courtroom.
It is either her fault or it is not her fault according to the law, Judge Hatchett.
No, Judge Hatchett,
you can't say this is what the law says, but you know what? I feel like
she plays by her own rules.
It's
Judge
preposterous.
Hatchett.
That is that law is as if saying if someone breaks into your house and you're doing construction on it, so you don't have a barricade from people not falling off of your staircase, then it's your fault if they break something. That's ridiculous. Those kids broke the law.
Calm down.
They shouldn't have gotten a single thing.
Okay.
They should not have gotten a single thing.
Sometimes that's the way the gavel crumbles.
Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's stupid.
Sometimes it's stupid. We did it.
Really perturbed.
I can tell.
By the Hatchet.
Yeah. You'll get over it. Maybe Judge Hatchett will win you back with another case.
Doubtful.
Wow.
Standing outside the doubtful. And we're going to be back next week. It's not Halloween week.
It isn't.
But
the week's coming. Don't worry, though, guys. It'll be here before you know it.
This week has been tough, but don't worry, guys. Another one's right around the corner. Stay safe. Stay warm or cold, whatever you desire, and watch some court cases.
Stay cold out there, everybody.
We'll see you next week, if not before. The Yo Gabble Gabble.
Yo Gabble Gabble's a Bramble Jam podcast recorded live in Greenville, South Carolina at the Bramble Jam Podcast Network Studios. It's produced by Brandon Gray. For more information, you can go to bramblejampodcast.com/gabble.